Hey, welcome back to Livin MN Outdoors. I'm Daniel, and thanks for tuning in to this week's fishing report. It's Memorial Weekend. It's been extremely windy and cold so far this season, but it looks like finally this coming week things are going to turn around. It's going to warm up, and hopefully some of this wind will die back down. But with that being said, if you guys could, please hit that like button, subscribe or follow, and if you could, leave a comment down below. And with that being said, let's dive into this week's fishing report. All right, this week we're going to start up on Lake Winnie. The water temps on Winnie right now are fluctuating anywhere from 52 to 57 degrees. Now, the walleye bite on opener weekend started off really strong, and it seems like it's started to get tougher each week since then. Now, we are getting mixed reports on the walleyes. Some people are completely striking out. Some people are absolutely hammering the walleyes. Some guys are only getting those slot fish, and some people are getting all keepers. Now, some really good areas to target those walleyes right now. The mouth of Plug Hat in that 8 to 12 foot of water is producing some really nice eater walleyes. Over on the dugouts in 10 to 14 foot of water, and then the cut foot narrows by the buoys are producing some nice fish as well. Now, still the best way to catch those fish out there right now is a jig and a shiner. The spot tail shiners can be really hard to find right now, so if you can get golden shiners, those are working. Otherwise, bigger rainbows or fatheads are working as well. Now, there also is a low light crankbait bite in Tamarack Bay. They're pulling crankbaits along the shoreline weeds and picking off some nice walleyes there as well. Utilizing a number 5 shad wrap or a husky jerk is working for those. Now, as far as the perch bite goes, there's not a ton going on with the perch bite. Some guys are picking up a few here and there walleye fishing, but as far as them being schooled up, that's not really happening, and they are extremely hard to target right now. Now, as far as the panfish bite goes, it seems like it's a little bit early, but there's actually a decent bluegill bite going on right now in 4 to 8 foot of water. If you can find where last year's pencil reeds are, that's where those bluegills are hanging out right now. The new pencil reeds aren't quite up yet, but those old reed beds are holding a ton of really nice bluegills. If you pitch in a small jig with a chunk of a crawler or a slip bobber with a chunk of a crawler, you're more than likely going to catch some really nice bluegills and sunfish. Now, as far as the crappie bite goes, not a ton of crappies are being caught. They're kind of in that in-between of being just outside of their spawning grounds and wanting to come up into their spawning grounds. The water's still a little bit cold for them to spawn, but they seem to be a little bit scattered and confused on what they want to do right now. Now, if you are going to target them, a small 1/16 or 1/8 ounce jig tipped with a crappie minnow or a fathead is working best to catch those. Now, as far as the pike bite goes, there are northern pike absolutely everywhere out there. It doesn't really matter what you fish with, you're gonna catch them. A crawler, a minnow, a crankbait, a spoon, doesn't seem to matter. They're everywhere and they are hungry. Now, if you're looking for a guide up on Lake Winnie or the Winnie area, Scott from zupsguideservice, he is the premier walleye guide up in that area. Whether you want to get out and chase some walleyes or you want to go chase some panfish, Scott does have some availability and can accommodate those trips. So if you're looking to get out in the Lake Winnie area with a guide, go ahead and call Scott from zupsguideservice. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay up on Lake Winnie, Chad at the Pines Resort has an awesome operation up there. He has cabins, RV sites, full bar and restaurant, live bait, fish cleaning shack, pontoon and boat rentals, activities going on at the bar on the weekends. So if you're looking to get up to Lake Winnie and need a place to stay, or you just want to boat in or drive in and have some fun, go go ahead and call Chad at the Pines Resort. All right, now moving over to Leech Lake. The walleye bite on Leech Lake is starting to pick up. As far as water temps go, seeing those water temps right around that 54 to 57 degrees. As far as the walleye bite goes, starting to see more walleyes out on those first breaks on that sand to rock and those first humps off of the shoreline, those shallower humps, but targeting that sand to rock or those sand to weed transitions is still producing the most fish. Now, as far as how to catch those fish, still a jig and a minnow is working best. I know some guys have thrown a crawler and have caught some that way as well, and it never hurts to have some leeches in the boat with a slip bobber and pitch on some of those finicky walleyes. Now, as far as the panfish bite goes, they're getting a mixed bag of bluegills and crappies. They're finding those in Sucker Bay, Boy Bay, and Shingobi. 5 to 10 foot of water on the weed edges is holding the majority of those fish. If you're targeting crappies, a small jig and a fat head or a jig in a minnow style plastic is working well. The bluegills, a slip bobber with a chunk of a crawler is working well for those. And then as far as the perch bite goes, just like over on Winnie, they're scattered, really hard to target. Some guys are running into a few here and there walleye fishing, but really tough to get those perch to go right now. Now, as far as largemouth bass, a lot of the largemouth bass are pulled up on the silty bottoms out in front of the cattails right now. Throwing a white chatterbait is producing some really nice largemouth bass. And then as far as the smallmouth bass, look on those rock piles just outside of their spawning grounds, that rock to sand transition in that 10 to 16 foot of water. Throwing a jerkbait or a paddle tail is working best for those. Now, if you're looking for a guide up in the Leech Lake area, we're partnered up with Parker from Davis's Guide Service. Whether you want to catch walleyes, bass, panfish, he can accommodate whatever you're looking to do. So if you're looking to get up to Leech Lake and want to book a guide, go ahead and give Parker a call from Davis's Guide Service. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay up on Leech Lake, Kyle from Acorn Hill Resort, he has an amazing resort over on Traders Bay. He's got cabins, RV sites, full bar and restaurant, the Loaded Loon Bar and Grill, tons of activities, boat rentals, whatever you're looking for, he has it over there. And starting yesterday, they are doing their bar activities, bingo, meat raffles, horse races, live music, all of that stuff starting Memorial Weekend. So if you want to have fun, whether you're staying at the resort, you want to boat in or drive in, go over to Acorn Hill Resort and have some fun. I also want to mention Acorn Hill Resort will be hosting Walleye Camp again. I believe it is June 6th through the 13th. That is a very in-depth seminar guide trip, all-inclusive stay at their resort there. It provides your cabin, your meals, your guide trips, the whole works. They are going to break down Leech Lake, teach you how to target those walleyes out there, take you out there, show you how to do it, and then send you out on your own so you can try it yourself as well. So if you're looking to get in on Walleye Camp, go ahead, give Kyle a call up at Acorn Hill Resort and get your spot reserved because there's only a couple spots left. All right, now moving down to Mille Lacs Lake. The water temps on Mille Lacs are right around that 54 to 58 degrees of water, depending on what side of the lake you're on. It has been extremely windy out there, so it has been limited to where guys can get to fish. Now, as far as the walleye bite, it has been a little bit tougher, but guys are still catching some really nice keeper fish if you're willing to put the time and work in. Now, some of the better areas to target those fish are those sand to rock transitions in that 12 to 18 foot of water, or those first breaks, especially up on the north end of the lake on the sand. they're catching some really nice fish. Now, best baits to use right now is still the jig and a minnow. Mille Lacs is always known for a leech and a slip bobber. They are getting some that way too. They do seem to favor the jig and a minnow as of right now. Now, if you don't want to use live bait, there are guys pitching jigs and paddle tails and doing fairly well on those also, but you got to work those pretty slow in order to get those walleyes to bite. Now, as far as the perch bite goes, not a ton of perch being caught. I do suspect that those perch have moved out quite a bit deeper. If I was going to go look right now, I'd be checking that 24 to 32 foot of water out on the edge of the rock and mud or those mud flats. That's just my hunch, but I do believe that's probably where they're hanging out already. Now, as far as the smallmouth bass bite goes, kind of two different areas you can target those. 4 to 8 foot up on the sand and gravel. They're starting to catch some fish up there. It doesn't seem to be those great big pre-spawn females, but I think a lot of those males are just roaming around up in that shallow water getting ready for the spawn. If you're gonna fish them up in shallow, warm, sunny, calm days are best for up in there, and you're gonna wanna fish those spots pretty fast with a paddle tail or a jerk bait. And then the bigger females still tend to be out in that 10 to 16 foot of water just outside of their spawning grounds on those rock humps, secluded boulders, secluded rock piles. That's where those big pre-spawn females tend to be right now. And they're getting those on a paddle tail, jerk bait, or on some hair jigs, and they're tending to fish those a little bit slower out in that deeper water and having some pretty good luck catching those 5, 6, and even 7 pound smallmouth bass right now. Now, if you're looking to book a guide up in the Mille Lacs Lake area, Joe from Keeper's Guide Service, he does have some weekend availability still in May and June, and some midweek availability as well. So whether you're looking to target walleye, bass, or panfish, Joe can accommodate those trips. So give Joe a call and book a trip with Keeper's Guide Service. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's fishing report. If there's anything else you're looking for in the report, leave it down in the comments. We'll do our best to accommodate whatever information you're looking for. If you do get out fishing, take some pictures. Send them to us on Facebook Messenger or to our Gmail, and we will do our best to feature you in next week's fishing report. When you do make it out fishing, remember, be kind at the boat ramp, be respectful of other fishermen, don't crowd your neighbor, and most importantly, don't forget to get on out there